We have reached the finale, Alma Mater. I definitely think that Till Lindemann took a lot of influence from his voice as well. It makes me even wonder, did they even use metronomes when they recorded this? Wow. Dude! Just listen to his voice! That's one guy! That's one guy! Oh, man. I always love the folk perspective of bands like Rammstein, My Dying Bride, this band, Paradise Lost. Awesome. Who knows? Maybe even fucking Young Kim from Sabaton took influence from this guy's voice. I think that's how influential Fernando is. Fade out at the end of the album. I like that. Alright, let's get into it, man. My review. I really, really like this album. I thought it was very, very surprising to me how good this album was, to be honest. I believe I gave Night Eternal a 10, but we're going to get into what I'm going to give this. Yeah, dude, this album's pretty fucking good. Especially for 1995. It's just got that wow factor. It really does. To me, I never heard anything like this in 95. You know, I was born in 89, so, I mean, obviously I don't have enough room to talk, but at the same time, this is really good. It's really good production. I love this a lot. Let's get into my top 3. I think my top 3 on this album, I think number 1 is going to go to... We're going to give it to An Erotic Alchemy. Right? I'm going to do the fucking Fernando voice every time I say it. But, yeah. Erotic Alchemy. I love this song. Great fucking track. I'm surprised it doesn't have the most fucking listens, to be honest. It belongs to Alma Mater. That didn't impress me. But, yeah. This track just had everything. It was great. It was just a great fucking track. Great prog track. I love how he just got up to the mic and started doing this like this. He talked to this like the man on the mic. He talked like this. It's freaking cool. It literally sounds like a fucking vampire in the microphone. That was cool. I love that. Number 2, Vampiria. I love this. His whispers in this just really just adds to the whole effect of vampires and vampirism and everything that Transylvania offers. But I love this. It's great. It's such a great fucking track. Doesn't deserve my top, obviously, but yeah, this track was really, really fucking good. I love this. I love the prog elements. Love the whispers. The whispers were like the best part of this song. And number 3 is going to Love Crimes. I love this. I believe this is the one that sounded like Iron Maiden, correct? Yep, this is the one that sounded like Iron Maiden, and it had that beautiful, beautiful outro in it. That ambient outro, ambient symphonic synth outro, just really kind of threw me for a loop. Like, literally, I wasn't expecting that at all. That was cool. I really, really like this album. I think it's safe to say that this album is almost as good as this album right here, Amorphous. Tales of 10,000 Lakes. I love this album. I love that album. So, but I'm going to get into my album MVP. Sorry, I forgot what was next. Album MVP for this album is Fernando Loberio. Okay, it's definitely 100%. His voice is absolutely unique. Super, super fucking unique. I believe I gave it to him last album review. Did I? Who did I give MVP to on the last one? I don't think I did album MVPs back then. But yeah, really, really good. Awesome voice. Just really adds on to the effect layer of vampirism and werewolves and everything that has to do with like the gothic stuff. The gothic, you know, like fucking Dracula and the Wolfman, you know, like Frankenstein, stuff like that. That gothic era of the world brings it out into his voice. I really, really like that a lot. The FFO, or the similarities that sound like this band, I have them written down here. I think the number 1 similarity to this album, especially with the use of choir, is Rammstein. I think people that listen to Rammstein would absolutely fucking love this band. Would love this album, I should say. I think it's very, very unique. And it sounds a lot like Rammstein with the symphonics, the choirs and everything. Just really brings off that Till Lindemann, you know, Christoph vibe with the fucking I don't know the Kruse vibe, and Ollie and all the members. You know, all the members. I love Rammstein. I'm a huge Rammstein fan. So number 2, I'm gonna go ahead and give this one to Amorphous. What's up, Jonas McGee? How you doing, man? Welcome to the Empire. I'm gonna give this one to Amorphous. The reason why is because it's got the folk elements. It's got the folk elements in it. 2 of these songs had folk elements. A couple of them had folk. Alma Mater had folk elements, and Triburana and what's it called? Lua di Inferno had. It almost sounds Italian a little bit. Some of these tracks, but yeah, very amorphous, especially with the flutes and the bagpipes and everything. There wasn't an accordion in here, but yeah. Number 3 is going to My Dying Bride. I think My Dying Bride is very, very reminiscent to this band. As I said in my last album reaction on Night Eternal, very My Dying Bride sounding synths in here, and just the prog elements also reminds me of My Dying Bride. They were one of the original doom metal bands that I had reacted to a while back. I did their album, something Crows. I can't remember what it's called. I can't fucking remember the name of the album. Fuck me. Hang on. Am I really gonna not get this? Turn Loose the Swans. That was the name of the album that we checked out. Really, really good album as well. And it had the Sims elements of that album into this album. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to them. Number 4. I think number 4 is Iron Maiden. The guitar composition just screams Iron Maiden. Literally. Sounds just like it. It sounds just like the fucking guitars in Iron Maiden, and just obviously there's no Bruce Dickinson elements in here, but yeah, very, very heavy metal sounding album. I really like this. And number 5, just because that one riff kind of reminded me of Crazy Chain, I'm giving it to Black Sabbath. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, you know, fucking God, so much information in my head, man. Forget the guitars. Tony Iommi guitars in here, but there's no Ozzy Osbourne vocals, but they definitely have the Tony Iommi guitar composition as well in this album. So those are the similarities. Genre. I think that this album focuses on the element of gothic as the number 1. 100% gothic all around. Even the track names, gothic, 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 gothic. Screams the gothic. There's no doom elements at all in this album. I really don't feel any doom elements, so I can't give it to doom. It's definitely gothic. Number 2, I'm going to go ahead and give this to prog. I think prog definitely deserves it here. Progressive album. You know, it's very prog. You know, it changes a lot. The composition in each song just completely changes. Each song doesn't sound the same. That's what I love about this band. Number 3, I'm going to folk. I think it's folk because it's just, you know, it's fucking folk, dude. It's really just brings off that, you know, read a fucking fairy tale kind of vibe, like with the vampires and the werewolves and stuff. It's very folk. Even had the folk instruments. They had the flutes, they had the fucking bagpipes, they had some of the piano. It's very, very cool. I think there was an organ. It sounded like there was an organ in here, but yeah. Number 4, I'm gonna give this to Symphonic. I think Symphonic definitely deserves a spot in here. A lot of these tracks featured a lot of synths and a lot of just, you know, not really violins, but there was very choir elements in here, so that's gonna go to Symphonic. Number 5, I am going to give this to Heavy Metal. I think this is a very heavy metal influenced album, so I'm gonna give it to Heavy Metal. I could have gave it to Punk. There was one track with Punk, but it's not enough to give it to Punk. It was kind of punkish though. That I think it was the 3rd track. It was the punkish track, but that was really interesting. A lot of these tracks remind me of like Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, you know, Judas Priest, stuff like that. I'm almost out of breath. Fuck, what's next? Mods, help me out. What's next? Took a blow to the head, bro. You guys gotta be here for me. Oh, the theme, the implication. Yes, okay. Thank you. Theme of this album, implication, meaning. I believe it deals with werewolves and it deals with vampires. 100%. It's It's very Latin. I'm guessing these are Latin words here. So Latin is basically the origin of vampires and werewolves. So yeah, I think that this deals with someone that becomes a werewolf from a human form, and he goes back home to basically to tell his family about what's happening and stuff. So you got the a werewolf masquerade, love crimes, maybe he fell in love and killed the person he loved. Of dream and drama, midnight ride, and that's him turning into a werewolf, going for a midnight ride, you know, running around as a werewolf. Very cool. The Inferno, Inferno is hell, by the way. The Inferno is literally means hell. Trebordona, I don't know what that is. Vampire, obviously. An erotic alchemy, his transformation into a fucking werewolf, vampire, whatever. Alma Mater, he goes back home. That's how I see it. I know a lot of people give me shit on my implication, but yeah, it's very hard to figure out what the album is about if I don't do lyric analysis. And I'm gonna tell you right now, don't expect lyric analysis on this channel. My rating for this album. So I liked 5 tracks on this album. I forget what I gave Night Eternal. What did I give Night Eternal? So I gave it a 25 out of 10. This is not as good as Night Eternal. It's not. But it is pretty damn good for 95. And that being said, I'm going to give Moonspell, Wolfheart, a 6.9 out of 10. Just below the threshold of being a 7. A 6.9 out of 10, it seems pretty fair rating, you know? Because I wasn't really, like, vibing this. And I only added 2 tracks. It's just kind of different. It's kind of like it was a very, very surprise album, you know? And I don't think I could listen to this again if I wanted to, but I added those 2 tracks. Maybe this album will grow on me. Who knows? Who knows, guys? I know you're going to leave the hate comments. Oh, you're fucking hating on Moonspell, blah, blah, blah. You know what, dude? I can't like everything, so bring your hate comments. It's very raw. The bass was very horribly produced. I absolutely hated the bass. Worst part of this album. The drums a little bit too loud over the music, in my personal opinion. I like my drums kind of mixed into the music, not over the music. But the vocals, great on this album. Would have been better at the remastered version, in my opinion. So Glenn told me to do this version, or else I would have. You know, I would have done the remastered version. But yeah, you don't want me to listen to the, you know, the regular version or the remastered version. Okay, we'll use this as a troll. This is IFA's troll. There we go. But yeah, this album is. I feel like this is gonna take a few listens. All right, guys. I'll see you at the next album review. Peace.